taste over health, Indian teens pick snacks, not nutrition. There was a time when you ate what you got on your plate, my generation, in your tiffin box, my generation, and almost the same kind of food unless there was a birthday celebration or a wedding that I went to. But then now there are options of a variety of cuisines, and many, particularly adolescents, are making the choices not based on what is good for them, but only picking food which is based on taste, appearance, and whether the picture will look good on Insta or not. I've seen this with my children as well. Before they eat, they take a picture. They don't eat first. There is a lot of peer pressure, because if you don't do it, then your friends do not know that you went to the best French restaurant last night. According to a research conducted by the ICMR, National Institute of Nutrition in Hyderabad, and reported in South First, apart from taste and appearance, what is of utmost importance is whether it pass musters for ratification amongst friends or not. Now, one of the obvious fallouts of such a phenomenon is weight gain amongst adolescents, and something which has been highlighted by Prime Minister Modi as well. Weight problems is in itself a red flag, but then because of their food choices, many adolescents and 13, 14-year-olds are now presenting themselves with type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and even PCOS. The research threw up data like how 51% adolescents confirmed that it was the taste of food that was bought from outside, and a quarter chose food based on appearance. When some foods were shown with healthy labels like it's multigrain or whatever, they said yeah, we'll eat this. But if you take those labels off and show them food which is junk food, they say we would better have that. What is going on in this country? A country which believed in balanced diet, and these are adolescents. These are guys who are going to turn adults, and I hope to God that they do not have major health problems. Let me now go across to an expert to find out more about this. This is Jyoti Dev, Kesavan Dev, Director, Jyoti Dev's Diabetics Research Center. Let me now go across to the doctor. Dr. Jyoti Dev, thank you so much for making the time. What is going on with our young children, Doc?
I was listening to your very, very impressive introduction on food choices in the adolescents. And congratulations for that, and congratulations to TV9 for including this subject. This is a very hot topic.
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you. Very, very hot topic now. And children, adolescents, they are becoming obese, and that has become a shock to doctors like me, not only in the hospitals, but also in the general obesity or diabetes camps. We often meet very young people at the age of 10 years, 15 years with obesity, and when we do some lab tests, we find that they are having some high glucose levels, very high levels of lipids. So the number one reason for eating more, there is homeostatic hunger, and you and me, so all of us used to eat when we were hungry, and that used to be limited supply of the so-called mutton or chicken. But now there is uninterrupted continuous supply of food. And from the conventional homeostatic eating, now we have shifted to the phenomenon called hedonic eating, when children and adolescents are attracted to the sight, sound, and smell of food, multiple environmental influences, including...
I'm sorry to interject in this fashion, sir. The times have changed. Post-COVID, particularly, ordering food has now become a new normal, right? Everyone is ordering food out. I may not, maybe you don't, I don't. I do it only once a week, that too reluctantly. But that's what they do, because COVID made them do that. I want to ask you one question, doctor. How come, what are the parents doing then, sir? I mean, if I wanted to have an extra laddu, Pat would come, one slap on my wrist to say, enough, you've had two already. What are the parents doing? Why can't they be the monitors? Why can't they be the gatekeepers, sir?
Absolutely, Sudha. Absolutely, I do agree. But many a time when we see them as a family in the hospital, unfortunately, the parents are also obese. So what I mean to say is, obesity is now considered as a disease. And obesity as a disease is now endorsed by the World Health Organization, but even the parents are unaware of the fact that obesity is a disease. So we have to start from the houses. We have to make aware of the parents and the children should be taught about the healthy food choices. And stress is there even for children. The stress for examination, the stress for other, what should I say, sports, everything is a stress for the children. And how to tackle the stress. And there can be a mindless eating. And the stress can also increase the level of eating. Acute stress will reduce the body weight, but chronic, long-standing stress, it can result in a weight gain. And this happens in children as well. So I
Jyotidev, I also
completely agree
want,
with,
sir,
yeah,
I
completely
also,
agree with you. You should start with house.
yeah, I want to also ask you something, that you say there is an extra supply of food, it's on your fingertips, it's on the phone, I can just order a burger right now and eat it once I finish the show. But the point of the matter is that parents must be very worried, and I don't want to create panic here. I'm a parent, Tell me, if my child who's 13 years old has type 2 diabetes, has obesity, has hypertension, PCOS, I want to ask you that with some regulation and change, can I change his life?
Absolutely, it is possible. We have all been trying for quite some time, and this process of change. Of course, I agree that COVID has made a change, but this has been a gradual change. I have seen children at the age of 12 years and 13 years with obesity and type 2 diabetes, even 8 years ago. 8 years ago. So that trend is increasing, and the newer anti-obesity drugs such as semaglutide, that is Wegovy, and these drugs are being tested even in children now. So in many countries, it is now approved for the age of 12 years and onwards, and even below the age of 12 years, for 7 years and 8 years, there are ongoing clinical trials. That means even young children need to get treated for obesity, because the message for the parents here is, once the children are obese, it is difficult to bring down the body weight, and many a time they have to have medications for that, because once they are overweight or obesity, it opens doors to, that is a gateway to more than 300 illnesses. It is not just diabetes or polycystic ovarian disease or infertility or sleep apnea. It opens the doors to many illnesses, including cancers, more than 30 cancers. And this message should come to the children from the schools and colleges and from their own household. And that is where it is missing. And the celebrations should be with the dancing, with other modes of entertainment, and not just by eating more and becoming more and more obese and overweight. And that message should start from the house. And I completely agree with Sudha.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also really highlighted many a time about this epidemic called obesity. He's spoken at length about it and how this nation really wants to go towards it. I mean, he speaks about millets, he speaks about how we need to eat healthy. He himself insists on it. So there is an example we can all follow. Let's also not forget Mahatma Gandhi. He was a very frugal eater. He ate less, but my God, did he function energetically? Of course he did. I also want to ask you, Doc, that the thing is that there was a time when I ate well because my mom was not working. There is another argument with mothers working. I'm a working mother. Am I able to give my children for the north, if you're a North Indian child, roti, sabzi, dal. If I'm a South Indian child, then sambar, rice, rasam, one sabzi. I don't have the time. Therefore, I resort to shortcuts. Therefore, I resort to Maggi, noodles, pasta, which is simple, right? Do you think that that is also an issue, sir?
Absolutely, Sudha, that is also an issue. And I come from Kerala in Trivandrum. And when I go to the restaurants around, or when I search the internet for an online food choice, everything is now available. Not only the traditional Indian cuisine, you have Italian, you have Lebanese, and everywhere, everything is available here. So the choices are many. And many people, including me, we have done multiple research on the food choices in the east of India, the west of India. Again, the universal finding is the amount of carbohydrate is more and the protein is significantly less. Instead of 15 to 20% minimum protein to be available, it is significantly less amount of protein and more amount of carbohydrate, and the fat content is also significantly more. So when you are assessing with the body composition analysis, we routinely do in our hospitals body composition analysis, even when the person looks thin, and we call it the Indian phenotype, thin fat obesity, So even they
Okay,
look
yeah, I
more-
also before, I mean, I'm running out of time. Before I let you go, Doc, I want to also say that this in schools now it's been introduced that we have one healthy day lunch. I think all this is basically failing. I think we have to go back and reinvent the wheel where we reintroduce our children to what is really our kind of food. You are a Maharashtrian, you eat the food that your grandmom ate. Once in a while you can eat. They call it cheat day, but they are cheating every day. I just don't understand. Don't you think it's a big crisis which is facing the parents and they need to take, remedies?
children learn from the school and from the parents.
Yes.
So if the children are eating more and becoming overweight, it is our fault as parents.
Yes.
And even at the age of 5 years or 6 years, at that younger age, we should start discussing with them on nutritious diet. And equally important,
right.
I say, so that equally important will be daily
All right,
exercise.
sir.
Children don't get time for exercise. So
All right. On that note,
let us promote exercise as well along with the healthy eating.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
On that note, thank you so much, sir, for joining us.